doesn't that also mean that he created sin as well? Which means your God is not necessarily solely good, it contradicts the passage, and your God is both good and bad, and essentially a great being.
Yeah, so what you're presenting is the problem of evil.
Yeah.
Right, so here's what you need to understand, okay? The problem of evil, thusly put, which was put like this by Epicurus actually. That if you have it's not omniscience by the way, it's omnipotence. So it says if you have an omnipotent God and an all good God, then either the fact that God, that evil in the world it contradicts either of the two properties, either omniscience, omnipotence or goodness. And this has been even debunked now by atheists. This is the form of the argument like this has been debunked by atheists, like William Rowe, who's a philosopher of religion. He debunks it. He says this is intellectually bankrupt argument. The reason why it's an intellectually bankrupt, there's many reasons why it's an intellectually bankrupt argument. The fact, first of all, one word if you want to put it that way, wisdom. We don't believe in God with two attributes. So it's a reductionist understanding of God, that God is all good and all powerful. We believe God is all good, all powerful, all wise as well. And so if you have wisdom, wisdom is basically in Islamic terms, it's described as putting it's appropriacy. So appropriacy doesn't mean that everything must be good. That's a condition that would only apply if God is only good. But God is good, is just, and is wise, which means that sometimes bad things can be good for you.
He's forbearing, so he acknowledges and sees bad and doesn't.
Exactly. So that's another one, hilm in Arabic, which is forbearing. So there's more that we believe in more than those attributes. Anyway, one could say, that's one line of argumentation, to say that this is a reductionist understanding of God's attributes, and one that fails, even according to like philosophers of religion like William Rowe and others who are atheists. But another way of putting it, of the position, is that did God create evil? What is evil in the first place? And for you to answer this question, you have to have what you call a theodicy of some sort. So depending on what theodicy you subscribe to, then you will have a different answer. For example, Augustine. So theodicy is your theory of evil in relation to God and the problem of evil and so on. So for instance, Augustine and Ibn Taymiyyah and his student Ibn Qayyim, they basically understood evil. These are Islamic and Christian theologians. They understood evil as what you call adamiyya, or the idea of privation, which is something, a lacking of something, a depreciation of something. In fact, they say that evil doesn't exist in the real world. There is no evil. That's what Ibn Taymiyyah believes. This is what pure evil, al-sharr al-mahd, does not exist in the real world. So on this perspective, what is then, how do you describe children in poverty? How do you describe that? They would describe it in the negative term. Child in poverty, or poverty, is the lacking of the property of having money, for example. So it's lacking rather than affirmation. So that's one thing. So if we take that theodicy on board, then we will reply to the atheist with it and say, well, how do you prove the existence of evil in the first place? Because you see the point, the atheist has as much impotence in being able to prove the existence of evil as a real objective matter or thing to be.
But you're preaching subjectivity, but religion at its basis is objective, because there's good and bad, because heaven and hell exist. Bad people go to hell, good people go to heaven. So, I mean, again, and if God is solely good in the sense of he helps people, he loves us, he cares for us, that can't really be true, because he is the creator of all the bad things that happen.
Yeah, but so once again, to return to my previous answer, you know, the Quran states, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, that you might hate something, but it's good for you. So bad things can be good for you sometimes. And how can it be good for you? For a wisdom that's known to God. The Quran states, وَلَقَدْ بَلَوْنَاهُمْ بِالْحَسَنَاتِ وَالسَّيِّئَاتِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجَعُونَ. We have tested them with good things and bad things so that they may turn back to us. You know, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. He created the life and death so as to test you which of you are best in deeds. What kind of test would it be if there's no difficulty?
It's an evil person.
Do you know what I mean?
And this is where the question goes back.
Islam
we like to
teaches
question.
him
We like
to be evil. You said rude things about my mother, whom you've never known.
Yeah.
And you know my mother.
The question could also
Why
be
did you say
asked back.
rude things about my mother? You did that because you are a Muslim.
We have to wait for a second.
Islam teaches you to do this sort of thing. That's how you are. All of you are that way. You know me. Who are you? Are you a real Egyptian or a product of right hand process? Eh? Are you a child, a product of rape? Are you a real Egyptian or a product of rape? Answer that question. Who are you? Who are you? Because Islam teaches rape.
So is this Christian
Islam
behavior?
teaches rape.
Is this Christian behavior?
Islam teaches rape.
Don't engage him, man.
So how many women have you raped in your life?
Okay.
Answer that question.
Okay. So
Islam
basically, the
teaches
question-
you to rape.
The question could be
Islam teaches you to rape.
So, what should we wait?
So answer that question.
wait till tomorrow,
Are
this guy's
you a
confusion.
product of rape? Or are you a real Egyptian? Answer that question. Are you a product of rape? Answer the question. Are you a product of rape or are you a real Egyptian? We have
I'm listening.
real Egyptians and those raped by Arabs. That is how they came to Africa. Arabs are not Egyptians. We don't have Arabs in Egypt. You understand that? We
wanna
don't
go
have
sing?
Arabs.
Let's go sit down
Egypt
somewhere.
is not an Arabic.
Let's go somewhere.
It's not an Arabic country.
Let's go sit over there.
Understand that.
Yeah?
These are allegations.